What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American, here today to react and learn about 10 British companies that destroyed their reputation. So, as an American, I really don't know all that much about British companies. So today, I thought it would be fun to learn about some companies that absolutely destroyed their brand in the UK and how exactly that happened. So, with that being said, let's take a look.
KFC. We're starting off with an American company, of course, but KFC had a notorious issue back in 2018 that only affected us here in Blighty.
What? KFC? KFC? Kentucky Fried Chicken? They had KFC in the UK? Do they still have it? I didn't even know this was a thing. Yeah, this is like a very, very popular fast food that's found in the United States. So KFC had their chance in the UK and absolutely blew it? What did they do exactly to completely ruin the KFC name in the UK? I've never heard of this.
I get a free rice box then for coming down because I've had to go to Burger King.
Yes, we're talking about the chicken shortage, when KFC changed delivery companies and the logistics of its supply network collapsed, leaving
a chicken shortage? A chicken shortage? Oh no. Yeah, I mean, you can't be called Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC. You can't have that name and be out of chicken. Oh my gosh. So, are there a lot of people in the UK who still, to this day, remember KFC for running out of chicken?
The majority of branches without any chicken to serve.
The chicken shortage, which has forced KFC to close hundreds of its outlets in the UK, is our next story.
Many outlets closed completely, while others ran massively reduced menus because there were other items that hadn't been delivered too. The issue could be traced back to another foreign firm, DHL, based in Germany, whose network in the UK just couldn't handle the volume of chicken needed to keep the nation's KFCs up and running.
Okay, so I'm a little curious how big a deal this actually is. I wasn't expecting KFC to be a part of this. I've gone to KFC, it's pretty good. Does it still exist in the UK? It's not like this absolutely destroyed KFC in the UK. It just destroyed its good name, its reputation.
And the contract changed last week. They had months to plan for it. And the chicken is stuck in the warehouse.
Tesco. In 2013, Europe was gripped by the horse meat scandal.
What? Horse meat scandal? What on earth? This is very entertaining to me, I think, as an American, because I've never heard of any of these scandals, this drama. Tesco is a British grocery store? Isn't that right?
Tests carried out in Ireland found horse DNA in a number of big brand name beef products. One, a Tesco value beef burger, contained as much as 29% horse meat.
Are you kidding me? Is this a sick joke? This was probably people in the UK's reaction when this first happened. You found horse meat in, the hamburger, the beef, at Tesco? Oh my God! I don't think I'd ever look at it the same. I agree with this one. This would destroy their reputation in my eyes.
The scandal made the biggest waves in the UK, where eating horse is taboo and affected Tesco's reputation more than any other companies.
Yeah.
All sorts of products were removed from sale, from beef burgers to frozen lasagnas, because people couldn't be sure what meat was in them.
Yeah, no kidding. What? When did this happen? What? What is going on? No chicken at KFC? There's horse in the Tesco meat? Like, what? Without them, and they didn't even tell you? Like, yet a third party had to test for the presence of horse meat. What?
Firms have been told to test all their processed beef products for traces of horse meat or pork within a week.
Or where it had come from. This was worse news for people following strict religious diets,
Yeah.
like Jewish people and
True.
Muslims, who need to be sure that the food they eat is what it says on the pack.
Well, also just like Britain, in America, you know, we don't eat horse meat. We don't do that. I don't know what it tastes like. I don't care if it's great or who, like, that's not a cultural norm in America. And I'm guessing in the UK as well. And it's just, so it just comes across as like disgusting, honestly.
Packet.
Findus built a trusted brand over generations, and it will take a long time to win back consumer confidence. This
Yeah.
scandal will do great damage to the meat processing industry as a whole.
It took years for people to regain trust in Tesco and
Yeah.
the meat suppliers whose supply chain had caused the issue in the first place.
Oh my god. Yes. So has enough time finally passed that people in the UK are finally like, okay, I can get the Tesco lasagna again. And it took a few years. Yeah. Oh my god.
Cadbury.
By and large, the British opinion of American chocolate is
One of the UK's most
What? Come on. No, come on. It's not that bad. it's just got a couple extra dozen chemicals in it, and I've been told it tastes like vomit to British people, but come on. So what did Cadbury? Cadbury's big in the UK. Here in America, we have Hershey. That's the big one. So what did Cadbury do to ruin its chocolatey reputation in the UK?
beloved brand, Cadbury has been providing us with delicious chocolate for 200 years. At least it was until 2009, when it was bought by the giant American multinational Kraft Foods.
Really? I didn't know that Kraft owned Cadbury, actually.
For many people here, the great chocolate debate is more than a matter of personal taste. It's a matter of British national pride.
Everybody was against this at the time, since the US is known the world over for having some of the worst chocolate out there. And our fears were proven true when in 2023, the classic Cadbury recipe for dairy milk was changed.
Oh, people in the UK were terrified that because Kraft is an American brand and Kraft bought out Cadbury, that Cadbury was going to start tasting bad like American chocolate. It's good news for us. We can finally eat Cadbury, but were the fears justified? Well, they actually changed the recipe, so maybe? I don't know. It seems like, honestly, if you buy Cadbury and it's a UK brand, you don't want to change much about it because you still want people to buy your product. It wouldn't make sense for the company to make a chocolate that everyone hates, really. It wouldn't be in their best interest.
I just can't believe it at all. He's nothing British anymore.
Cadbury is still going strong and remains the most popular chocolate brand in Britain, but it's just not been the same since we let the Americans get their hands on it.
You let us get our grubby hands on the chocolate. Oh, big mistake. But seriously, does it taste different ever since? Like, it was bought years and years ago? Has it never been the same? I'm curious about this.
Protesters call the buyout a sellout, the loss of a national treasure.
Thames Water.
Swimming in poo. Not just the ducks, and not just here.
They're not the only water company in trouble at the moment. In fact, all of England's private water companies are in hot, smelly water for...
Ugh. British water? The Thames River? They're saying it's, for lack of a better word, soiled. Poopy, if you will. Well, this is, chocolate, you can live without it. You can survive on horse meat if you have to. But water is fundamentally important. Like, you can't have disgusting, like, dirty soiled water. This sounds like a big deal.
Dumping raw sewage into our seas and rivers. Despite mass public outrage dating back years, the problem just keeps getting worse.
What?
With more and more sewage finding its way into the water.
You got sewage? Sewage in the UK drinking water? Am I understanding this correctly? This isn't just destroying, like, the water company's reputation. This is like a big deal. When did this happen?
Got this murky water coming through, and every now and again you'll see a bit of this sewage fungus float by as well.
Thames Water has been getting worse quicker than the other companies, however, with sewage overflow reaching record levels. Thames Water saw its boss resign in 2023, and finally, multiple companies decided they'd stop giving out bonuses to executives, but the problem still isn't getting any better.
So, Thames Water, is that the name of a British water company? Thames Water? It's not just like a river? I didn't quite understand that. Okay.
Another 25 years of poo. And water companies wanting to increase our bills to pay for updates to our aging, overflowing sewage system.
What?
Rockstar North.
What? Oh man, they're not following up on all of these. Like, I'm kind of being left in the dark. Like, I don't know what happens. Like, is everything going okay now in the UK? Like, is the water still have sewage in it? Or, oh my god. What is this? Okay, moving along, I guess. Rockstar North.
Given Rockstar has made its name creating distinctly American games like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption, it's easy to forget that the company's humble origins lie in Scotland.
Oh.
Rockstar are a huge deal. They're a development studio behind the GTA series, and even if you've never played, even if you've never touched a controller, you know what Grand Theft Auto is.
Rockstar.
Yeah, Rockstar. It's a game production company. It's Scottish. I didn't know that. What did they do to ruin, like, their... Like, I'm actually surprised I didn't hear about this. It has to do with, like, gaming?
Rockstar North is based in Edinburgh and remains a crucial studio under the larger Rockstar umbrella founded by the Houser brothers, who are both English.
Rockstar North here in Edinburgh is the largest of the studios working on this game.
But in October 2018, an article was published exposing Rockstar for horrendous working conditions, with many employees saying they worked as many as 60 hours a week, often without days off, something called crunch.
So are you pushing the boundaries of what's capable with interactive entertainment at the moment?
You know, I think everything that we've done is to serve that goal.
Since the story...
So, Rockstar was under some controversy for, like, inhumane working conditions and forcing employees to work crazy hours, 60 hours a week, and... Okay, I actually don't really remember hearing about this. That's obviously not good.
Broke, Rockstar says it's completely overhauled its company culture and now no longer crunches its staff.
Okay, I don't think, of all the British companies that have destroyed their reputation so far, this one seems to probably be one that's kind of made a comeback or kind of pushed it under the rug, because I don't think you hear about this one very much.
BT.
Good morning. Landlines are going digital as the UK phone network gets a massive overhaul.
It's faced a lot of criticism in recent years for its business practices, but in 2024, BT announced that by the following year, it hoped to abolish traditional analog landlines completely.
Oh, BT. What is BT? Sounds like that must be a British phone company, like British telecommunications company. I'm guessing BT. They abolished the, like, analog, physical landline phone. Yeah, I mean, I get it, like, with the cell phones and stuff and technology, but is it really necessary to abolish regular phones? Like, a lot of people still like that sort of thing. A lot of people still probably use them in their homes. I'm not sure why you would do that. It was kind of, like, destined to tick off a lot of people.
Placing it all with digital voice. As you can imagine, this hasn't gone down well at all. Landlines might be old-fashioned, but they have the key benefit of still working during a power cut, which digital voice will not.
1.7 million households have no internet connection at home, and up to 1 million people have actually cut back or cancelled their internet packages in the past year.
As well as that, digital voice requires a reliable internet connection, which many in rural areas and lots of elderly people don't have.
Yeah, what the heck? Why would they do this? It also seems sort of like a safety hazard. If there's certain, like, people who need a normal landline phone just so that they have a phone that's reliable. Yeah, that, like... I'm kind of glad they got some backlash over this.
Lots of devices, actually, from traffic lights to ATMs, rely on the analogue phone network. And in our homes, so do some burglar alarms and health alert systems.
Providers are saying that they'll install the broadband line and won't charge people extra if it's only being used for the phone, but it's still difficult to swallow. Dr. Martens. Ask any footwear aficionado and they'll tell you that the iconic Doc Martens just aren't what they used to be.
Doc Martens? I've heard of that. I'm not the, like, biggest fashion... I don't know what's going on with fashion or shoes or Doc Martens. I've heard of it. That's funny. They came under some controversy. They're not what they used to be. Well, I don't even know what they used to be honest.
So I test it against master swatches, so standards set in place that have been around since we first started making it.
These reliable, world-famous boots used to last a lifetime, and if you bought a pair in the 80s or 90s, when they were still at their peak, you might still be wearing them now. However, since 2019, it's become clear that as production has shifted out of the UK, the quality of Docs has massively declined.
Well, I think that's, honestly, this sounds like, not to go on this whole rant, but I think most things, like, not just Doc Martens, most stuff, and mostly clothing, like, it's not the same quality that it used to be, like, 40, 50, 60 years ago, now that everything is mass-produced and made by machines and made with profit margins in mind and to cut cost. I don't think it's just Doc Martens. I think most stuff doesn't last as long as it used to in the good old days.
Talk me through what you're doing now.
So, yeah, basically just, I know that's, check it for quality and it's nice and soft vamp.
Though the company itself disagrees, customers have found that the newer shoes made in Asia don't hold up like the old ones. And even the Made in England line, which is more expensive, aren't as durable as they should be.
Well, that is annoying. It's like, if this is some really expensive shoe or boot or whatever it is, that's super annoying if it's actually not, like, that high quality. But the market should kind of decide. Like, if they're not as good, people won't buy it. It's not like water or chocolate that you have to get. Fancy shoes, like, I'm guessing people will just stop buying them and the company will, like, it'll hurt their bottom line profit margins and hopefully they'll change.
So if your Dr. Marten boots are, holding together as they should, that's because they've been seen by the watchful eye of Gale. Fingers crossed that I pass my inspection.
British Gas. Much like BT and England's water companies, British Gas is another corporation that used to be publicly owned and has now run itself into the ground.
Today,
British Gas. This is cool today. I'm learning about a lot of British companies that I've never heard of, and these are really, really, like, fundamental, like, British companies, like, about telephones, like BT and the water companies, and this is a gas company. What did a gas company do to ruin their reputation in the UK?
Today's report from British Gas shows its profits soared from 98 million to 969 million in the first half of this year compared to last.
Wow. The 2020s have been plagued with crises, including the rocketing price of energy bills, of which British Gas was a huge part.
Centrica itself announced a 33% hike in dividends, a huge prize for shareholders.
Despite massively increasing bills, British Gas went on to report record profits year after year. British Gas...
There we go. It's because British Gas increased their prices, which, you know, everyone has to deal with sometimes. But it's not like they had to increase their prices. They're making more and more record profits every year, which means, like, they're charging more and more than is necessary. I think that's the controversy here.
Gas was also revealed to have been hiring people to force-fit prepayment meters on the homes of people in arrears in 2023.
So clearly what happens is if they are suddenly unable to put money in their meter, well then their energy supplies are cut off.
It and the other firms responsible were ordered to stop, but these scandals have still left people looking for alternate suppliers.
Yeah.
Nibble.
It is really difficult for people to value art, and which is why I guess NFTs are a bit of an alien.
This
Nibble? Never heard of Nibble.
This American NFT startup went viral online for all the wrong reasons back in 2021, when NFTs were still relevant. In fact, the mocking of its original name was so extreme that it was forced to change its name to the name it has now, Nibble.
They changed it to Nibble to avoid mocking? I think Nibble is kind of a funny name. Maybe that's just me.
Previous name was Nonce Finance, with nonce being a cryptocurrency term meaning number only used once.
We also have to remember cryptocurrencies are really hard to use for normal people.
Of course, here in the UK, nonce means something completely different. So saying a company proudly announced that it was launching under the name Nonce Finance was hilarious. They
Wait. What? What does nonce mean? Wait. What does nonce mean in Britain? So this means something. So it made their name sound really, really stupid? Oh, I want to know what it means.
Earned their reputation here before they even had a chance to build one.
They launched under a name that they didn't realize sounded bad in Britain? Is it like a British slang term? Nonce? Or I don't know that one.
Incident that could have been avoided if they'd just done some research.
Right now it seems like a bit of a fairy tale, right? Like you can go make this NFT and sell it, get a bunch of money. Great. And maybe for a few that's the case, but mostly for everybody, probably not.
The BBC. The Beeb has...
The BBC? The BBC? No, there's no way the BBC completely destroyed their reputation in the UK. Like, they're the biggest news agency, like, in Britain, right? Still to this day. But I'm guessing they had some kind of big controversy, which I do want to hear about.
It's been slowly eroding its reputation for years, but there are a handful of notable incidents that have made public opinion take a real plunge.
When did public attitude start to change about Jimmy Savile? You may have said after the ITV documentary last week. You'd be wrong.
Chief among them was Jimmy Savile, whose crimes were knowingly covered up and ignored by the BBC for decades.
Who is Jimmy Savile? Who is he? Does he work for the BBC? Does he own it? Or why do we care about his crimes?
Decades, which also notoriously pulled a Newsnight expose on him when he died, so that it could run positive coverage.
She was interviewed last week and explained that she told her story to Newsnight, but that Newsnight had decided not to run the story.
More recently, and there was the Match of the Day fiasco, when the BBC's Director General, Tim Davie, an ex-Tory candidate, tried to sack Gary Lineker for making comments about the Tories on his personal social media.
The BBC says it'll have a frank conversation with Match of the Day presenter Gary Lineker.
The corporation.
So the BBC has had some, like, scandals or controversy concerning some of the people who own and operate it? I thought this was going to be something like the BBC showed or said something crazy, and it's really like some of the employees they've had, huh?
Just can't do anything right. Let us know in the comments which of these companies you think should go bankrupt.
should go bankrupt. I don't. This was really, really interesting. Some of these really did like genuinely scare me a bit. Like the water, the sewage water fiasco. Never heard about that. The chocolate. This list had various ranging of how like important these British companies are. Like the telecommunications one, BT, like that was a bad one. But some of it was like Doc Martens, like your shoes aren't gonna hold up as well. So this was actually pretty interesting. The variety of British companies that they did have, and this was by Watch Mojo UK, and I got to give it a like because I did like that. That was honestly very, very interesting, especially for me as an American. I've never really heard about most of these British companies, although I've heard of the BBC, and I didn't know that apparently so many of them have had a scandal here or two, or KFC in the UK, like ran out of chicken. Like this was pretty entertaining actually. So anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these British companies that destroyed their reputation. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain and British culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.